Hello, hello,
What's up?
and
What's
boom.
up?
Here we
Boom.
are. Here we are.
Hello, hello.
Happy Sunday, Barry
Happy
Riley.
Happy
Bichon
Sunday,
Riley.
Kenya MJ.
Kenya MJ. We call me what? Vegan mac and cheese? Kenya vegan mac
Kenya
and cheese.
Kenya vegan mac and cheese.
Welcome those who are watching, whether live or in the replay. We're happy to have you here. And y'all know me because you're sitting, if you're looking at this, you're sitting on my social media. So you somewhat know me. But every other Sunday, I bring along my partner in crime, B. Sean Riley, otherwise known as Barry. So when you hear me say Barry, you're gonna hear me. That's what that is. So this is what we do. Welcome to Spiritual Shift. So
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a really interesting topic today.
we do. And I'm getting ready to scroll it across so that people understand what the heck it is we're talking about today. I think it's special because of so many reasons, but I think it's also really misunderstood. So we're going to get right into it. First of all, this is Spiritual Shift. We talk a little bit outside of the box spiritually every other week. If you're missing it in live time, you can catch the replay. It's on YouTube and Facebook. This is where it lives. We have a whole playlist of all our previous episodes if you go to my YouTube page at Kenya MJ Music. So you can watch previous ones that you missed because we always have juicy topics.
Juicy, super juicy.
Super juicy. You're calm today. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not usually calm. Is that what you're saying?
You're always calm. You're actually scarily calm, but you're just extra calm. So
Well,
today's
kind of.
topic is scrolling now across. I got it across. What is a goddess?
What is a goddess? Yes. Ooh, I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna let you, or should ladies first since we're talking about
Ladies
goddess?
first.
Oh my
Ladies
goodness.
first. Always.
So we're gonna wing today a little bit. We usually come in with our notes. You guys don't see them, but we have our notes and we've, talked about our questions and we didn't do that this time.
We did. Yeah, we were. This week was a lot. This past week, it was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's
A lot
always
going
a
on.
lot. But yeah.
So, but yeah.
So the reason why I propose that we talk about this topic about what is a goddess is because I feel like more recently that term just feels like it's kind of assigned in just any general term. Like it's usually in an endearing way, right? It's not
Mhm.
usually a out your name bad name or anything like
Right.
that.
You goddess. I hate you.
You goddess, I can't stand you. What you just a goddess.
Right.
No, not like that. But at the same time, I don't know if we really, have unpacked the idea of this term goddess and should it be used so loosely? Should we just be, when we see a beautiful woman, should we just be able to say, oh, you're my goddess? Or when we're in spaces that are really intimate and beautiful and inspiring, you're such a goddess, which is where I hear it more. Um, but I would love, there's some history spiritually behind this whole term of goddess. And because you're my spiritual mentor, you teach me so much on the more studied scholarly spaces of some terms and words that we use in current day. I thought, can we unpack a little bit about goddess? Because
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we don't really have a lot of information. No, no, that's not true. There is information. It's just not promoted and really dug into because we don't. Our society religiously, there is no space for the goddess.
Mm,
Christianity, there is no goddess figure.
mm,
It's just God the Father. So that right there, we don't even have to go into Islam or Judaism. It's the same there. If you jump into other particular religions, like ancient stuff like Hinduism, there are goddess figures in ancient. Kemetic religions, quote religions. I'm using the term loosely, religion. But when you jump into like ancient Egyptian or Kemetic ideologies about that, gods and God, there's tons of goddess type figures there. Women.
Mm,
I'm not going to say women. I shouldn't say women, but um, female deities that exist throughout history. Like you can go back, like the further you go back in time and history, the more you see the feminine deity appear,
mm,
depicted. Um, you see it all throughout um, the name is escaping me. It's the I'm going to explain it because I can't think of the exact term, but it's the when you have an array of deities, gods and goddesses. I forget the name,
mhm,
um, but it's like a panorama of gods. You see, with the further you go back, you see the female um, goddess. You see the goddess figure. When you get into modern day Christianity, modern day religion, the female deity just disappears. Um, and
mm.
I personally, I think there's a reason for
Well,
that.
I was just gonna
Um,
say we can't just say it disappears and then keep going.
it just gets pushed to the back. Um, and as you and I have talked about many, many times, we are moving into an era where this deity, this female energy, this goddess energy is re-emerging. We're moving into an era astrologically, which you and I have talked about, where the feminine is coming back, and we've seen it, in the world. A lot of people haven't really noticed it, but it's coming back around, which is why you hear more about. So I'll give you an example. You see a lot more movies where the woman is the hero, you know, right?
a, a big one coming up with Viola Davis
Viola
coming, and I
Davis.
and let's put a pin in that movie because there is a challenge that I am a part of right now, and I want to invite those who are watching to learn more about it. But go ahead, keep going. But yes,
So yeah, I mean that's probably the first um, movie that I've seen where a melanated woman is cast as the heroine, the hero, um, the one that is the savior. But there have been, going back to the reemergence of like Wonder Woman.
mm,
Um, if you're into the Terminator, there was the girl that was the recent Terminator, the last one, Dark Fate, I think it was. Um, the girl is the one that is the savior.
mhm.
She's the hero, the heroine. There's tons of them. I mean, I don't, I could probably sit here and try to think, but if you look at movies, TV shows, the girl, the woman is being cast as the hero, as the one that's fighting, as the one that has to say. So there's a reason for that.
Mm.
The goddess is coming back into prominence now. But yeah, over the last probably 22,000 years, we haven't seen the goddess in Christianity. Like she's been relegated to the back of the house,
Oh
like in the
wow.
kitchen. She's in the
In the
kitchen.
kitchen. Is she even in the kitchen? Well, she's definitely been in the kitchen.
If she's in the kitchen, but we
Oh my
haven't been
goodness.
able to.
I don't even know if she's in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't think she's any
I don't
I
know if
don't
she's
think she's anywhere apparent. I think it's still very unseen. And so let's stay in that mindset framework for a minute about this exclusion in Christianity,
Mhm.
in terms of really giving goddess language, giving it space and presence and a time to really dig in on a regular, like you might have the special Bible study that we're going to now kind of talk about the women of the Bible, or the, but not this constant conversation about that. And those of you who are watching or watching in the replay, we'd love, if you have questions related to this, feel free. I check the comments every here and there. I don't always get to see all of them because of the way this platform that we use doesn't always show me all the comments. But anyway, let's stay in that space. So you said you have your thoughts as to why we don't see that in Christianity, present Christianity, so much. And so,
What is that?
what is that?
So I'll give of course, the short version, and I have to, so I have to preface this with saying that um, that I look at a variety of research from a variety of sources. I just don't study the Bible, and then not just religious texts or spiritual texts, or but I look at as well geopolitics, you
Mm.
know, historical geopolitics, in the sense that um, so I had to preface it by saying that. So my reasoning why women or the goddess figure has been excluded, it incorporates all of that perspective. So, ooh man.
I know
So
you like to kind of see. I'm the one that's like, just say it, just get
well,
it out, go.
I can say
But
it, but okay. So I'm trying to take all of this stuff that I research and delve into, and just kind of like give you a, like, boom, this
right,
is it.
right.
Because it's gonna, if I so if I say I don't think women are very well liked
Mm,
in the present iteration of society, and I think it's been that way for thousands for at least a couple thousand years. I think women, and you can, and I can extrapolate this around the world in many cultures, even African cultures. Women, the present version back, for maybe hundreds of years, even African cultures, Asian cultures. Um, we can go down to Latin America, and of course, North America stuff. Women are just pushed to the back, like stay in the kitchen, make some food, raise the kids, do all that. And I and it doesn't mean that men don't like women. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the way that society has been structured, women are not given equal equity in everything. You understand what
right.
I'm saying? And I think this is because I think this is because the way society has been set up, that this is the the people, I'll say people, that set up society, because there are people that
Well,
actually set up
I
society.
mean, I think
The people that are working in the society don't set up the society. The people that set up the society, those are the people that set up the society. You understand what I'm saying? So
no,
let's just,
I know where there's a lot of unspokens, but just
it's certain, a lot of stuff I'm not saying, you know. So let's just take the United States, right? So there were people that set up the United States. We call them what? The founding fathers, right? We call them these people, these white guys, right? So we can just use them. There
I
were
was gonna
no
say, I don't think we have to get too deep. I mean, I think
no.
it's very obvious we live in a very patriarchal society that was very intentional. I think that people are finally recognizing the intentionality maybe behind it. I don't, I think we've just assumed that's just the way it is. It's just white men just kind of lead. But I think it's finally because of all the things that are happening and that don't make sense. I think we're beginning, and I say beginning, to see the intentionality of patriarchy, and that intentionality is for a reason. And
Mhm.
that is where I think for me the goddess energy really becomes loud. Is it's so much power in the goddess and so
Yeah,
much power in the feminine,
right.
that in order for the non-feminine to, or the patriarchy or what have you, to take some sense of control or some sense of um yeah, control is the best word, then let's suppress, let's minimize to the point of maybe even make invisible that which is quite probably more powerful than us. But because, meaning the patriarchy. So to me, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious right now. I know, at least as from a woman's perspective, it's quite obvious that all of these ways that certain things have been structurized have been to 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 make as if we don't even have a goddess. Like that term is fantasy island term, that's not the actuality of things, and that's why I think we have to be more intentional with the use of the word. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. The energy of the goddess is so powerful. It's just my opinion. This is my opinion. So when we talk about the history of the goddess, like this energy is so powerful. It's Mother Earth. I mean, so if you think about Mother Earth, the Earth, how powerful is the Earth? I
Right.
mean, we live on her. We get our life from her. If she did not, if she wanted to, yeah, there's no way to really. I mean, we're at her mercy, really. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Just think about
Absolutely.
all of, like, if she really wanted to get rid of us, it would be no problem for her to get rid of us.
But she doesn't because
But
of
she
the
doesn't
goddess feminine energy of nurture,
because of
and
her. Right.
wanting more, and wanting to protect and care and provide even a womb, I'm saying, for growth
Right.
and development. And it's very powerful. So okay, well, so if we go with that premise that, and let's go back maybe to the Christianity piece, um how how does this impact us as we, if in fact we are choosing to practice a more, Christian based philosophy?
Yeah.
Is
It
there still room for us to create, do we need to, what do we do with this?
what do we do with that?
Yeah, what do
Yeah.
we do with that?
Yeah, it's impacted, and you know, you and I go through this when I'm talking about Christianity because I was raised a Christian. Like I said, we've talked about my graduate work in seminary and all of this. Um, so I don't struggle, but I hesitate sometimes to go into a lot of this related to Christianity because Christianity has been presented, it's presented a version of reality that is lopsided. It's
Mm,
one-sided, you
mm,
know. So I've said on this show that you can't have a god without a goddess. It just in the world of spirituality, in the world of um eternity and what it is that we're doing here, you can't have a God without a goddess. So what Christianity has done is that it's minimized the role of the goddess and put something else there, which really isn't there. That's not really
mm.
the same as a goddess.
Okay, wait, pause. What do you mean it's put something else there? What has it put there?
So the Trinity concept in Christianity is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is supposedly the feminine
Okay.
aspect
Okay.
of Christianity, and it doesn't really make sense
Mm,
in this framework of God, goddess, and then
mm,
child. That's the
mm,
that's the Holy Trinity. Actually, that's the
mm.
ancient Holy Trinity. God,
Okay, okay. So hold
goddess,
on. You
and
know
then
that because
because it's in the literature. It's in the if you study ancient religions, that is how we understood our reality. Okay, the God, the goddess, and then the child.
mm,
You um, that's how we understood our role here in life, what life was all about, um, the two different energies of the God energy, the goddess energy, and then they produce the child, which carries on that particular.
Hmm.
And so that's how we know it is if you look, if you go back, you don't have to go back. You can just get access to the documents and the research and the stuff, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about
Yes.
in the sanctuary coming up
Next
next
Sunday.
next
Yep.
Sunday.
Which we'll tell the audience a little bit more about in a minute. But yeah.
So if you look at that, this is how they perceived the world. Like whenever you look at anything that you believe in, like whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever it is, even if you don't believe, even if you're atheist, which that's no such thing as that, you believe in something because you have to have a lens to see the world and to understand the world, to understand yourself. So you have to look through a lens. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm having some technical difficulties over here on my computer, so I may have to come down in a second.
Oh, you're fine though. You're showing
Okay.
up great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so so you have to have a lens. So taking the goddess and sort of putting her to the side, when a woman or girl engages in Christianity, she gets her selfhood, her womanhood, her self knowledge, what it is that she's capable of, all that. She has to go through the God the Father to get that.
Mm.
She can't
Mhm.
get it from the goddess.
Uh-oh. Now I think he's frozen. Oh no, there you go. Okay, go back. You're back.
Okay.
You said you
I'm,
had
I'm,
to
still,
that.
I'm still having challenges over here on my side. So I'm
Oh,
gonna keep
really?
talking. I'm gonna keep talking.
Okay, I see you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
You just
but
don't see me?
yeah, I don't see you. Um,
Okay, well,
but if you can
you're
see me,
yeah,
okay.
I can totally see you. I hope the audience, and if anybody's watching live, if you can't see B. Sean Riley, if you can't see Barry, put it in the comments. I see you, but that's because I'm also watching from another space. So,
Okay, we may have to
um,
do what we've done before and
okay,
get
you're
the
okay right now. But if
right
you
now.
feel more comfortable coming down, you can do that. But I definitely see you
Okay,
and hear you. Yeah.
so and this is just theoretical. I mean, I think I can only speak from my growing up in a denomination that I grew up in. Like the women could not be a pastor. They couldn't be. They still today can't be a pastor. They can't
In certain spaces.
in my denomination that I
Oh,
grew
in
up
your denomination, and which
in.
is what? Which
Yeah,
is
Plymouth Brethren. You know,
okay. Mhm.
yeah, it's a
Mhm.
um, there are thousands and thousands of Plymouth Brethren churches all over the world. Thousands and thousands of them. They're mostly white. I grew up in a there maybe I want to say, from my recollection, maybe 30 to 40 African American Plymouth Brethren churches throughout
Okay.
North America and the
Okay.
Caribbean. So I grew up in one of them,
Gotcha.
and it's
Gotcha.
very fundamental evangelical, um, fundamental evangelical Christians.
Mhm.
Okay, very
Mhm.
conservative, like ultra conservative. And if
Mm.
anybody that is a Christian or is involved in Christianity. When I say fundamental evangelical, they know exactly what that means. Those terms, and conservative. Okay, so the
Okay.
women could not preach. They could not um, be a pastor, and I think it's the same way today. I could be wrong. I haven't.
Okay.
But so as you come through this, as you come of age as a girl, as a woman, if this is slanted, then it's like your power. And I'm theorizing this because I'm not a girl. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm gonna speak on her in a minute, but I'm gonna let you go. Keep going.
you know, I'm like, okay, if I have to go through a man to actualize myself, if I have to go through God the Father to actualize myself, I mean, okay, I could do that, but it's like I'm always bowing to the man. I'm always giving
Mm.
homage to the man.
Mm,
which is fine. But if like, how do I become all that I can be as this feminine energy,
mm,
which I came back to the earth to be? I came back as a girl. I came back as a woman. So
mm.
how do I actualize that as a woman? And what I'm saying is that for women, like if you're a guy, like I'm a guy, right? So God the Father, God the Son, that all works for me. Absolutely. And if you're the woman, if you know you're the woman, it's like, well, you gotta, I'm the man. And see, that's how we have
Ooh.
all come. That's how we have all come up and understood this whole thing that we're in with man and woman, is that the man is the dude and the woman
Mm.
is for him. And that's
Well,
not
now you've hit a chord.
yes.
There, you've hit a chord.
I'm gonna come down. So
You're
talk.
gonna come down. All right. So let's hold on a minute before you come down. I want to make sure we remove. It's just because he's having
I'm
technical
having technical difficulty.
although we see you fine, but that's fine. And make sure you bring a bench up. I'm going to remove you now, and then I'm going to talk a little bit. So,
Okay.
all right. So Barry just hit a chord. If you're just coming in, if you just heard what he just said, as far as a woman, if you're always working through the Father, the God, and not learning more about the goddess and that energy, where do we learn our divine power as women? Where do we learn our divine feminine? Where are we getting that based on what a male figure is saying or a masculine energy is saying? And so this term goddess, this I think this is, I said he struck a chord, because I think this is the piece is, as women, as we are being nurtured, how are we being conditioned to understand our power? How are we being nurtured and supported and birthed into our feminine power? What ceremonies do we have? What rituals do we have? What authority do we have? What um, leader, mentor? How do we go about really claiming and grabbing our feminine, divine feminine energy? And I think that there is an ability to do that through this understanding of goddess. But I think goddess has been so misunderstood in its terminology, and we still haven't really explored all that it's like we're kind of grabbing on to what we think it means. And that's not true. Okay, so Barry, get ready to join. He's gonna sit next to me. This is what keeps happening with our technical. We start out so strong, and then so thank you guys for joining us. Come on, sit next. All right. The only issue is, you don't have the headphone. Okay, hold on a minute. Although you don't need the headphone
I
because
don't need that. Yeah.
you're sitting next to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't need
that's
that.
right. You're right. All right. So I was just saying to the audience that, and let me make sure the mic so that you're picked up. How, as a woman, you just really hit a really
Did I hit a
important.
chord? Did I hit somebody?
You hit me.
Did I hit
It
you? Oh, I'm
did.
sorry, baby.
No, I know you didn't mean it like that.
I didn't mean to hit you,
You didn't
baby.
mean to hit me.
I don't really hit
But
you.
what I was just saying is, as women, where do we go to learn our power? And
Right.
are we learning our power first
A man.
through a man?
You're learning it through the. I'm sorry. I want you to finish what you were
No,
saying.
I mean, and that's kind of, and I think as women, we have to start really thinking about this, because does this make sense? Because the way this also gets really tricked is this idea of, okay, when we're in partnership with men, if we choose to be in partnership with men, this idea of my role now as a woman or as a wife or as a partner with you, again, am I taking the way so much is scripted is taking on the leadership of the man again.
Right.
And we hear it all the time. The man is the head, the woman is the neck or the body or whatever it is, all these things. And again, it's us as women having to take our space as it pertains first to men,
Right.
or to masculine, and even spiritually to God, with the understanding of father and giving it some kind of masculine space. Where do we get that feminine, which would be goddess to me,
It's a goddess. Yeah.
so that we can, that's why I think this was such an important thing.
Yeah. It's just it's crucial because
Let me see if we have any comments, but okay.
um there's no
You're fine. Keep going.
there's no way to really get at this without deconstructing Christianity, because it or even if you aren't involved in Christianity, even our society is built like this, because our society is built really on top of the concept of Christianity and all of that.
Mm.
All of Western civilization, basically. And then a lot of other cultures are built around the same thing, even if they aren't Christian cultures.
Hmm.
Um,
And that's what I mean. It's been so
it's been
indoctrinated
so
in us.
indoctrinated.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like you say, "Oh, go get a Kleenex,"
Hmm.
and we know that means tissue,
Right.
but Kleenex is a brand,
Right.
and that's just how much we've been encultured in Kleenex that we just say Kleenex.
Right.
And I think we're just so
Or make a
encultured to,
Xerox copy.
yeah,
Go ahead.
or Xerox, right?
Go ahead. Make a Xerox
Right. Go
copy.
make a Xerox copy.
Right.
That's a company, that's a brand.
Right.
So, I don't want to belittle, God or whatever and say it's a brand, but I do think
It
that.
is a brand. God the Father is a brand.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I
No,
told you,
no, no. Go ahead.
I don't play around with this.
Go ahead. Talk about
When you
it.
said that you wanted to do this, I was
I
like, you sure
did.
you want to do
I
this?
did.
It's like,
Yes.
because you know me, I
I
go
know.
10,000, 10,000 leagues underneath the sea. Because most people can't even fathom um, making the man and the woman
Mm,
equal equity
mm.
partners. Even women can't fathom that,
Right.
because they don't have the goddess brand, the goddess. And then
Mm,
an example. So I first of all, we don't have time to talk about, like, the fact that gods and goddesses, like, there isn't just one god, you know
now that's when you get touchy with
you know
people.
and
That's
there
when it
isn't
gets
just one
touchy.
goddess.
That's
But
when
I
it gets
gave you an
touchy.
example of a Hindu goddess, Kali, who is depicted. She's depicted a lot of different ways, but she has the blade in her mouth and it's bloody. Um, and she symbolizes war, but she also symbolizes fertility, um, and love and femininity, like a lot of different things that she symbolizes. But she is serious.
She's serious.
She's serious. You don't want to mess with her. Like, really, just don't.
Right. Which is, I think, why we have suppressed the goddess, because it's serious. It's serious, and it has
She's a
has a
serious goddess.
has
Like,
a lot of power.
right. She
It's a
has a
lot of
lot
power.
of power.
Well, this new movie that's coming out. So I want to just blurb this in. We're 30 minutes in. Our goal is 45. Okay, we're gonna see if we stick to that today. Okay. All right. So that means we got
How much time
we
we got
got
left?
technically 17. No,
More
I don't
minutes?
know. That's not true. No, we have 12. 12 minutes. But one of the things, this new movie with Viola Davis called Women King Movie. Well, Women King is the name of the movie.
Mhm.
I'm in a challenge right now called Women King Move. Hashtag Women King Move. It's on IG mostly. I don't know. They may also be doing it on TikTok. Um, but basically, the challenge is that for 30 days, and it started on August 16th, we would do some type of movement for at least 30 minutes until the opening day of the movie. And it's all women. And if you're like, oh, I want to get a part of that challenge, they've got all these like prizes, get free tickets to see the movie at the end. Plus, they have had a lot of people who own their own businesses and services with a lot of self-care and coaching and development, all these things. If you win certain areas, you get surprised. So it's just to keep you motivated and fun. But the point of doing it was a couple things. This movie is, like you said, going to be one of the first, I think maybe the first movie of a Black woman and a whole Black group of women really showing more of this power of women. Now, it's interesting that it's called Women King. I'm curious to see kind of what that all pans out and means in the movie. But also, I think the reason why we're doing it is to also just, one, to get our bodies moving and be healthy, but two, to show the power that we have as women, particularly when we work collectively and we inspire each other. And I know Viola, when she's been, there's been some promos talking about how they had to prepare physically for this role, and the level of rigor and physical challenge. It sounds like it was really intense. But I think what this art is attempting to do, because we don't have these spaces to show women in their power, and not just in their power as a mom,
Hmm.
not just in their power as a wife, but their power as a woman, like their power as leading groups, leading masses, to greatness, and not only leading them to greatness, but empowering them with inside to then get to that. Because I just, other outside of our maternal maybe lineage, and depending on what type of maternal situation you got going on,
Hmm.
you may have never seen women be powerful beyond taking care of their families.
Right.
I think we
Right.
see that and we can believe that because we've had to master that because of how we've been placed.
Right.
But we haven't, and we're starting to see us in our career spaces, but there's so much more to us
Yeah, and we
than
we
that.
have literal historical figures like Queen Nzinga.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if your audience is familiar with Queen Nzinga, who is a major, major, major figure. So we know Shaka Zulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know Shaka Zulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but Queen Nzinga fought the British, and beat that. She brought she gave them the work for a long time, and I'm trying to think if they did a movie on Queen Nzinga. I can't remember
But this is
if
a
they
shame
have,
that
but
we're not even
um,
taught this. I mean, like,
yeah,
in order for you to gain that knowledge, what did you do to learn
you have to dig into some
that?
books. You got to open up some books, man. You got to first you have to want to know the
Right.
knowledge.
Right.
That's why I continue to study. I continue to research, even though I've kind of walked away from Christianity because they was getting on my nerves. But I continue to study and research because I loved spirituality, and I was going somewhere. I was like, I need to find out the truth. What is the truth?
Mm.
And I was looking for truth. I wasn't looking to be a pastor and have anniversaries and stuff as a pastor. I wasn't
Okay,
looking to
there
do
he's
that.
being tongue in cheek.
I
And
am. I'm
again,
sorry.
that's
I'm
not
sorry, y'all.
disrespect,
I'm
because
sorry.
there
I
are a
love
lot of
y'all.
Christian spaces
I
that
love.
the
I love.
culture,
I love my Christian people.
yeah, that the culture
Absolutely.
is not of that. But
But I got a
so,
card. I can speak. Right to it.
I
So
mean,
I'm
because
still.
you lived a very Christian life. I mean, you
Yeah.
were very
I still have
heavily,
people in my family that are pastors, like Fritz Abad that
your
are.
brother is
Yeah.
active. So, I mean,
Yeah. So
so
I
it's a lot of respect.
I
I just don't
love
want
them.
anybody to
I don't.
feel
You know.
slighted or
No,
disrespected.
not at
Yeah.
all. Not at all. I
Yeah.
mean, I love Christianity. I love the Bible. It's an amazing journey. It's an amazing thing.
It's
So
just what
yeah.
man can do. It's what man sometimes manipulates. That's that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. All right, so that's a good segue to spiritual shift sanctuary. So if you have enjoyed this conversation, or if you're like, that was some interesting food for thought. Maybe I need to go find a book, or I need to go watch a movie, or whatever. We have something also that we're offering, and we started. We only do this session, and this is private on Zoom, so we do not go public with this session. But it's called Spiritual Shift Sanctuary, so that we can dig a bit more into this and have more conversation. So it's via Zoom. It's small, it's intimate, and it's so that you can ask questions and you present. So the topic for this is going to be this Sunday, and while he describes to you what the topic is going to be, I'm going to put on the scroll how you can join. And so, how you can become, you subscribe and you can automatically come every month.
Once a month.
Once a month. It's always
The
the last
last
Sunday
Sunday in the
of the
month.
month. So, go ahead, yeah, and explain what is this Sunday, or not this, next Sunday, which is August 28th. What is the topic?
What was left out of the Bible?
Mm,
What was left out of the Bible? So we're
mm.
gonna we're gonna talk about just um, what was left out of the Bible, the books, the concepts. Um, so there are lots of books that were left out of the Bible, including the Apocrypha. We're gonna talk about
Oh Lord.
There we are.
We disappeared. Did you hold tight or did you leave?
We got
Anyway.
we got lost in
Oh,
the
good grief.
metaverse. We
Yeah,
got
it didn't
lost.
want us to talk about this. I sometimes I wonder that because I talk about some deep stuff and then all of a sudden we just be disappearing. But we're back, so sorry
So
about that.
so yeah, we're gonna talk about like what's been left out of the Bible, the books. So there were a lot of things going on 2,000 years ago during this time when the Bible was created, supposedly. Um, there were a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of Christian stuff, just like there are 10,000 plus Christian denominations today. There were, I don't know if they were 10,000, but there were lots of people that were, you know, taking the message of Jesus, um, and creating their, their own version of what was going
Mhm.
on. So there was a lot of things going on as far as writings, as far as concepts. So there was a lot of letters, like, like the New Testament, has these letters that were going around. There were a lot of letters going around. So we're going to talk about that, as well as just some of the concepts that are not, that are actually in the Bible, but you don't really hear people talking about
Mm,
that. Say like reincarnation. So reincarnation, um, there's language in the Bible that brings that up.
mm.
Um, when Jesus, asked one of the disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" They say, "Oh, men say that you are." So the concept that is brought up, how could Jesus be someone who already lived in the past?
Right.
Because they say, "Oh, they say that you're this person." So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to delve into a lot of other stories in the Bible and where they could have come from. Older documents, older things that are thousands of years older
Mm,
than
mm.
Christianity. So that's going to be
So yeah, if you're
sanctuary
curious
eventually.
about that, and let's say that you're not a real big, let's say maybe okay, I haven't really studied the Bible. I'm not in a space where I'm interested in unpacking it to that level, but I want another spiritual space. Like I want another context. I want growth. I want to experience spirituality a bit more than maybe what I'm currently experiencing in my life.
Hmm, hmm.
Is there room for that in Spiritual Shift Sanctuary?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
it's it's not it's not Bible study, it's not church, it's
Yeah.
not anything. It's open to any faith, any belief, um, any concept, even atheists, if you don't believe in the God,
Right.
it's open, because the reality is that all of us are here. We came from somewhere and we're going somewhere. So how do you, while you're here, what is it that you're doing with your life? What's your goal with your life other than just career?
I love it. So yeah, so we have there patreon.com/finding your voice. That's all you need to go to. You're going to see three different tiers. One is just a general $5 a month of finding your voice. And I haven't announced this, but I guess I'm going to do an exclusive. I'm actually launching a podcast this fall. And so it will launch right. You'll hear more about it, but it'll launch. We're going to introduce it the Thursday before Labor Day. And then the Thursday after Labor Day is the first full episode. So when you become a general subscriber on this patreon.com/finding your voice, that $5, then you will be able to watch video and get exclusive content related to the podcast. But that doesn't necessarily give you access to Spiritual Shift Sanctuary, although I think we will run a special that anybody in there will be able to get it. But and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm just talking off the top of my head, but if you decide, I don't know if I can do $10 a month, but I'll do the $5 a month. We'll give you access to this coming session this next Sunday. So if
Yeah,
you join now, any level, you will have access to it.
yeah,
And the other thing, just knowing when you join, if you are a part of my Patreon, my music, Kenya MJ Music, you're going to be getting a nice little video and letter from me because you also can be. You will have access to these things as well because you've been supporting me and my music life forever. And so we're just grandfathering you into the spiritual shift sanctuary. So you'll be hearing more, or into finding your voice Patreon, because we got so many fun, cool things going on over there. So awesome. Well, we did it kind of more in our 45-minute.
This is the shortest one we've done. Usually it's like,
And I've been intentional with that, but it doesn't mean it's a lesser importance. Because I think this goddess as a woman, I think as women, we need to become more curious about our goddess energy,
yeah.
about what does that mean for us, and not just loosely, give assign that, but to really begin to be reflective and think, where are you learning about your woman power? Where are you getting that from? Are you just getting that from Beyonce's new album? Like, which is no shade. Like, her album is very goddess energy album, right? So arts has the ability, and Women King, these movies, the arts is about trying to inform us, but it's not the line, it's not the it.
Mm-hmm.
It should just trigger you into, yeah, I do feel powerful. Yeah, I mean, I do have this extra thing in me that I want to be about, that I want to live about, that's really deep. So I challenge women to look at their own individual lives and consider, outside of maybe mom or a song or whatever, where are you getting and nurturing and understanding your feminine energy? Because it's a lot of layered. And I think as time, like we said, astrologically, as time continues, you're going to be called to this even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And men,
Go ahead.
I think that men have to begin to make more space for women to get activated in their feminine, and don't be too quick to think that as threatening your masculinity or encroaching on who you are in your development as a man, and not thinking that as a woman, uh-oh, look at that
No,
face.
I just said you're just like you're gonna be stepping on guys' toes at that point. What you're talking about? I totally agree with what you're saying. I totally agree.
Well, and it's not to challenge men. See, and I think that that's what sometimes happens. I think that men
Yeah,
can feel challenged when a woman steps in her power. But
absolutely.
yeah. And that's to me where we're getting so much of a breakdown between, these relationships with men and women, is how can women step into their power in a healthy way without, being punitive for men, and how do men hold space for a woman in her power, and not feel threatened or not feel challenged or not feel indifferent, but just, I'm going to hold this space, I'm going to support you, I'm going to understand that's your journey, not mine, and I'm just going to support you along that path. So I mean, I think I wish that churches, I wish that spaces, spiritual spaces, would have more conversations around this, instead of always making this about submission, always making it about, you got to follow the man, or the woman needs to be more, feminine, or like it gets so
It's gonna be hard
confused.
for churches to do that
Yeah, yeah.
because, like I said, it would it would
It
deconstruct.
would deconstruct,
It would
right?
deconstruct, and
Well, but the
it's
deconstruction is
gonna be
happening,
hard.
I think, whether we want it or we
Yeah,
don't. Yeah,
yeah, that's happening. Either way. You
so
know,
many people are leaving the church, and so many young people are leaving the church, people that would carry on the legacy of this. I'm hearing so many more conversations of young people creating their own communities of spirituality, and still practicing Christianity, still practicing, but just doing it in a way where they feel like they can be their total selves. And I think that especially in the Black community, the Black church has always been such a profound space for us in so many ways. And so, can we afford for it to fall? Well, I think it's going
I'd like
to
to use the word transform.
transform. I mean, well, I hope it
I don't want the
transforms.
black church to
No, we
fall.
don't want it to fall. It
Real, I
has
don't.
to
Right, I
transform.
don't want the black church to fall
It
because
has
that's the
to.
only. The black church is the only institution that black people have.
Thank you.
There's no other institution in the black community. Period.
Right.
So the
Right.
black church can't fall. It has to transform.
Mm,
Now, those who are not able to transform,
mm.
yeah, I'm on. I don't know. I don't have nothing for them.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have to transform, period. Or not transform.
Or not, but
Yeah.
just understand the consequences happen either way. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, this has been fun. I liked this
This
discussion.
was good. We didn't think we
Yeah.
were gonna.
We just did it
We
on a.
just like, oh, we got to do this.
Oh, we gonna do? What we gonna talk about?
But this is good.
Yeah, it was good, even though we always have technical. I don't know if we should just start like this.
Right. Maybe we should just.
We should just do it like this.
We've done some where we didn't have any problems.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, you guys have a beautiful Sunday.
Absolutely. Enjoy these last few
Of
weeks
summer.
of summer.
Especially those of us in Midwest and Eastern, where fall. Well,
Right.
fall is beautiful.
Those of you all
Fall
who
is
are underneath the Mason-Dixon line, forget y'all. I'm jealous.
I'm like, can you even tell it's summer? I guess it's just super hot. So
Right.
instead of just hot.
Forget y'all.
Anyway, all right, you guys be good. We're gonna end. Talk to
All
you guys
right.
later.
Peace.
Bye.